How's it going, everybody? Raggroth here. So with King of Fighters 15 getting proper gameplay as well as a release window, I felt it was time to talk about the characters I would like for the game. I decided to pick 5 characters that were in King of Fighters 15, or King of Fighters 14, and 5 characters that were not in King of Fighters 14. Thankfully, my boy K-Dash is already confirmed, and I also really wanted Yashiro, but he is also thankfully confirmed. I do realize King of Fighter games are about teams and less so individual characters, but they have been known to change them up. Hell, we already have seen Benimaru do that with a completely different team. I do know some of these characters have no shot, but this is just purely who I want, so it's not going to stop me from wanting them. So, let's get started. Number 10. Naj. I apologize if I'm saying the name wrong. So I actually kind of fell out of the game when this character came out, and I no longer have KOF 14, and I don't know if I really feel like getting the Ultimate Edition, but from what I did see of Naj, she looked really cool, and it would be nice for the character to stick around once in the base roster this time and actually be part of the story. Very hard to say how likely she will be, as King of Fighters 14 was the first game with a decent amount of proper DLC characters, and it's hard to really say how SNK feels about bringing back new characters that were DLC in the next game, at least as of yet. Number 9. Ash Crimson. KOF 13 kind of helped me get back into KOF, and Ash Crimson was sort of the big debut character of the game, kind of, I guess, that protagonist character like K-Dash was, Kyo, etc., Shunhei in KOF 14. Yeah, he looks super feminine, but I mean, it's a Japanese video game. I mean, he still has a pretty sick design to me, and I am also a sucker for those green energy attacks. Only thing that puts him kind of lower is that he was a charge character, and that's not really my thing, and that's probably going to stay if he comes back. Personally, I actually kind of like Psyche, his more evil counterpart, more, but I know he's less likely to return due to being the antagonist of KOF 13, and I think he's pretty dead. He is definitely very likely, due to him being teased, to return in one of the endings. The weird thing with Ash is that he wasn't really on any specific team, so I don't know how that's going to work this time. I'm guessing he'd probably be on a team with Elizabeth and either Duolin or Shenwu, and one of those guys just won't make it back, unfortunately, or be on a different team. Number 8. Duolin. Speak of the devil. This is basically the same deal as Ash, but I actually like Duolin's design a bit more, and from what I remember, he's not a charge character. Honestly, I kind of like the whole team, but Lan was probably my favorite and seemed the most unique. Literally using Snake style. As for his chances, I don't think he died or anything like Ash did, so he's fine there, but he is probably less popular, and like I said, I could maybe see him being removed from that team and being replaced with Ash. But I do think his chances are there, just not fully shoo-in there. Number 7. Now this is a weird one. Chris was the 3rd member of the Orochi team, and I think he was like a host for Orochi or something like that. Again, didn't really play the game this team was last in, or it was canon in. I personally would rather it be Orochi, returning as a balanced character to be on the team, but I feel like Chris is way more likely, and his transformation thing is something that sets him apart from other characters. I feel he is a 100% shoo-in, considering 2/3 of his team are already back, and he was teased to return in an ending, just like them as well. Number 6. Hein. Introduced as Geese Howard's butler in KOF 14, I remember saying that Geese's butler would be a character on a leaked list, and honestly kind of laughed at the thought. But seeing him in action, holy shit. His design is sick, and I absolutely love his fighting style. Would definitely like him to return. Combined with just the hilarity of being a badass and butler at that. It's like if Alfred Pennyworth could fight like Batman. For his chances, well, Geese will definitely have a team come back, but they could replace Hein with Billy Kane. I think he was the one that was DLC in KOF 14, either him or Yamazaki. I honestly can't remember off the top of my head, but I could see that happening. So it's really hard to say with him, and I don't know how popular he was. Number 5. Ignas. Alright, I'm probably going to get some hate for this one. I actually have a love-hate relationship with this character, as I can never beat him as a teenager. He's the first boss that really showed me SNK boss syndrome. But man, he is sick. The design, theme, and moveset, I would love to see him come back as a balanced character. However, I think his chances are incredibly low. It's rare big SNK bosses come back, at least in the more recent games I notice, unless it's like an unlimited match kind of game. Plus, I don't know if he was really too popular. I don't really hear many people talk about him. He's not like Rugal or Geese or someone like that. Oh well, that's why I'll have 2002 at least. Number 4. Luang. Possibly my favorite KOF or SNK female. Probably because she's the jury to KOF's Street Fighter. Hands down one of my mains in KOF XIV. Love her design and personality. Moveset was a bit tricky and could have been more flashy with how the attacks hit, but she's still a blast to play as. She's sort of in a situation with Hein as she was on Kim Kwan-Hwan's team, and he definitely will have a team, but it's a matter of if she'll still be on it. I think she has more going for her than Hein though, because first of all, hot female. Secondly, she was in the SNK Heroines, so KOF XIV isn't her only game. And thirdly, unlike Hein, I can maybe seeing her be on another character's team. She was with Kim because his master was with him, and she's married to the master. What a lucky guy. Number 3. Kukri. This guy was my favorite new character introduced in KOF XIV, right above Luang. Really sick design, edgy but with a weird, kind of quirky personality with the JoJo poses and his obsession with women. I honestly can't believe he was actually the antagonist in SNK Heroines. Not to mention, but a very unique power set with sand, and I just felt like he was really good to play as, too. Hell, this guy might be one of my favorite KOF characters, period. For his chances, I think he's fairly likely. His team was a big deal in KOF XIV, and he was the only male character, unless we count gender bent Terry, in SNK Heroines. Speaking of which, I have gone back and forth between wanting that game so many times. Number 2. Terry is alright, and Geese is cool. But why not have the best of both worlds with the Star-Lord to Terry's Yondu and Geese's ego, Rock Howard? Now I just imagine Terry saying, he might be your father, but he ain't your daddy, in his thick English accent. But Rock is one of my favorite SNK fighting game protagonists. Really wish we could get this guy in more games. Please let the Streets of Rage 4 developers make a Karu sequel SNK. But his chances are strange. He's popular and important, sure, but the issue is that this game takes place far in the future. The game he's from, Garou Mark of the Wolves. So for him to be in the base roster and part of the story, he'd have to be a little kid, or maybe some time travel hijinks. Which honestly, is it really that crazy for KOF? He was a DLC character in KOF XIV, so they got around the story issue there, but we don't know how SNK feels about repeat DLC. Honestly though, would it really kill them for it to take place in the future? Because Terry does not look a day older in Garou Mark of the Wolves. Should also mention that technically there's already a character that got introduced that was in Garou Mark of the Wolves, and that's King of Dinosaurs, the alternate heel persona of Tizak. Alright, so here are some honorable mentions. There's a lot of them just because there's a lot of KOF characters and a lot of cool ones at that. King of Dinosaurs, Loveheart, Banderas, Shenwu, Elizabeth, Zero, Chrysalid, and Rugal. Number 1. Nameless. That's literally his name. This is not a clever way of saying that there is no number 1 choice. Nameless is a character that only appeared in KOF 2002 Unlimited Match, and was replacing K999999 due to that character being very similar to the character Tetsuo from the anime Akira. I haven't got a chance to play this game yet as I'm waiting for my physical copy to arrive from Limited Run Games, hopefully next month. But Nameless to me has a really cool design, and I did enjoy playing K999999 from what I remember, and I believe Nameless does play at least somewhat similar to him, being a replacement and all. Now for his chances, sadly probably next to Ignas, he is easily the least likely on this list. I just don't really hear that much buzz around this character, and he hasn't been around or mentioned since. He honestly may have been exclusively created for Ultimate Match. I think at most I see him as a DLC character. So I think that does it for this list. What characters from my list do you agree or disagree with? What characters would you like to see in the game that aren't announced already? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Feel free to join my Discord in the description below. And as I always say, another time, another place, keep being awesome. He may have been your Faja boy, but he wasn't your daddy.